Hello everybody, I hope you're all doing great. As I promised earlier, in I think the video about 1 or 2 days ago, I asked you guys about some topics you're interested into knowing more about. So I received a ton of great requests, and of course I have some in my mind too. And today I want I want to share the vision about what to focus on, which buildings and museum wise as a striker. Yeah, I have a few followers that are following me now for a long time, and I'm pretty sure you guys know I've worked my way up and I learned some really hard lessons, and I would be very happy. I would have been very happy if I had this information very early on. So, guys, listen closely. These tips aren't like a huge surprise, but they will help you grow as a striker. In advance, I will also make another video about on what to focus on as a defender, museum-wise, and of course building and wonder-wise. Okay, let's start. This is my just basic multiplayer layout. I decided to go with this order because it's just simpler for me to decide which building next to upgrade. And a big advantage of this layout is, as you can see, it's pretty easy to loot from my base, as nothing is protected and everything is like free. Most of the time I run a looted resource refund museum, so I have my stats at the maximum. Here you can see it, the looted resource refund is at 85%, so this means every time I get attacked, I earn resources. So this have been the last attack, so it's pretty decent. Nowadays I'm only upgrading my fourth general for World War. It's the General Churchill, and he's now at about up to 64. So this is a little off topic. Of course, you can use this information also as a defender. If I have to unlock my war artifacts or multiplayer artifacts, and we're talking now about the war artifacts, the equipments, these are really heavy on oil. You need a lot of oil, and of course then I would swap out my looted resource refund museum to a looting museum, so I can unlock those artifacts much faster. Okay? As a striker, of course, you want to focus on your offense buildings. So this means, of course, your airstrip, your factory. It's really enough if you only have one at the maximum level. Yeah. Only downside, when the airstrip you only have one building at max, I can only train the recon from the higher airstrip. As you can see, at this airstrip I cannot train my recon plane. I always try to help my team with my defense, although I'm a striker. Yeah. So as you can see, my air defense is maxed. My my towers are maxed, and I have one tank depot and one garrison maxed, because this will make sure that the forest defenders will have the level 15 tanks, and all the infantry spawners are also maxed regarding my garrison. Yeah. So for instance, if you destroy a barrack, there come some infantries out. This will be maxed garrison troops, and so on. Yeah. I also try to max my bunkers, because the higher the bunker, the higher the tank is generated. Yeah. This is no must. A lot of people are running low on level, I don't see personally any advantage in it, because you get rushed over from the opponent's striker in 0 time. Yeah. And with my base, every now and then, yeah, it happens that the opponent has to attack me twice, because he doesn't get, for instance, the quick victory on time. And I think this is really important. Yeah. Right now I'm focusing on my anti-tank guns. As we all know, the helicopter disaster makes them completely useless. Yeah. But I'm just working on them, because me personally, I'm only waiting for Drawn Edge. Yeah. After the anti-tank guns, I will maybe swap to my machine gun towers, or I will finish maxing my tank depots. I don't know yet. Yes. So focusing as a striker. Barracks, factory, airstrip, of course your mercenary camp, just to make sure you have your maxed available attacking troops. Also important to me is the shipyard, or also called the dock. I'm constantly running it. I always try to have two spare. Two spare. How is it called in English? Oh my god. I'm now. Please don't laugh at me. I'm now calling them town employees. Just to have them available when a thrilling expedition is available. Yeah. Of course, the embassy. That's important both for strikers and defenders, to make sure you have the maxed available coalitions. Yeah. And of course the museum building. And lately appeared the council, which is pretty useless in my opinion. I was very unlucky in my primary. I don't have any councillors appointed. In war, I used this one. Nothing special really. These are, I think, 5 2-star councillors, and they gave me the chambers. You can see fighter hit points is pretty decent, but that's all. Yeah. I'm also doing just the recruiting with the food once a day. Yeah, I don't really care much about it, to be honest. Maybe they adapt it and it will get better soon. Yeah. Other building that is always important is the fort. Of course, to have the new general available in each age. Yeah. Talking about generals. Maybe this is an important information for all the lower age players. Focus on those 4 or 5 gens, because they are the only ones who will work long term for you. And this is just my personal order of them. Number 1 is the General Shukov. Number 2 to me, or ex aequo number 1, is Sun Tzu with the combined university research. And Petra is amazing to me. You know how to handle this lady. You have to treat her well, take her out for a dinner once a week and show her some love. She will work badass. Yes. Currently I'm working on Churchill. As my 4th general, I have the Pentagon building, so also here try to shave some seconds and try to make it a little bit tougher for guys who are attacking my war base. Yeah. Of course you can also do, instead of Churchill, Hannibal. Yeah, he has a lot of hit points. As you can see, all my other generals are very, very low. Hannibal is also great. It's just a personal matter of taste, if you decide to go with Churchill or Hannibal. Okay. Yeah, museum probably is the most important part as a striker. Right now, as you guys know, I run back to my good old infiltrator attacks, but as you guys also know, I'm also able to do some badass paratrooper and heavy tank attacks. now I want to give you some hints and information about what is a good museum for each style of attack. At first you have to decide which troops are you using. If we're talking about the infiltrator attacks, I heavily rely on my fighters and my infiltrators. Infiltrators are called guerrilla in the museum. So I tried to craft weapons with 2 lines of fighters and 2 lines of guerrilla to get the max out of them. This is a pretty average artifact because the guerrilla damage is 2 times only 10%. Yes, this takes a while. Don't be too harsh on yourself. It's only just a matter of time. Keep crafting, they will come. Yes, I think in this case we cannot see it now because we have an active war. I think I had 1 line fighter damage and 2 line guerrilla damage, and I rolled in via the rerolls this second line, the fighter damage 15%. Here the same. Try to get the max out of your troops. Yeah, guerrilla damage twice, fighter damage twice. The same goes for my armors. Guerrilla hit points twice, fighter hit points twice. Yeah, and here on top a general hit points line appeared, and yes, why not? Here the same. Fighter hit points and guerrilla hit points. So this is the basic foundation to support your troops you're using with what you're using. So if I would set my paratrooper heavy tank and Ike Museum, you would see here 2 lines paratrooper damage and 2 lines heavy tank damage. Yes, the same for hit points: 2 lines paratrooper, 2 lines heavy tank, and maybe 1 line general hit points or 2 line general hit points, because of when I go with Ikes. The museum also affects troop tactics. Yes, that's really important. So choose your troop tactics wisely if you can boost them with your museum. Yeah. Legendaries are, I get asked every day, which legendary should I use? Which legendary should I use? Yes, legendaries are really important, but the other artifacts are more important in my opinion. To have a good set of these weapons and armors and equipment artifacts, this is the real foundation in my personal opinion. If you have bullshit artifacts of weapon, armor and equipment and 3 very strong legendaries, it won't matter very much. At least you have spent a lot of money, and yeah, that's all. The legendaries here, again, I'm using infiltrators and fighters, so I try to get the most out of it with my legendaries. Here I have guerrilla lines in it, airstrip troop damage, which affects my fighters. Yes, to the equipment lines, EDST and all enemy defensive tower hit points. I will come later when we talk about equipment. Here I have the Da Vinci flying machine, which works great if you're a heavy tank user or a HT fighter attacker. In my case, perfect, because I use the heavy tanks as bait, and it boosts the hit points and a little bit damage for my fighters. Leonidas bust. This is a little bit boost for my gens, and of course the 16% quick victory time boost, which will be in real war about 10 seconds more time to gain the quick victory. I have my eyes wide open for the new Gorilla legendary. There's another one available since a few weeks. I didn't have the chance so far to get it. I'm waiting for it at market to appear, to swap it in for 300 tokens, and for certain bases I would swap it in for Leonidas. Equipment. Here again, you're focusing on your troops. As a guerrilla or infiltrator attacker, there are some lines really important to me. All in all, as a striker, there are only 4 lines really important for you as a striker. This is enemy defender spawn time, which makes sure that the defenders don't spawn that fast. All enemy defensive tower damage or hit points. And the 4th important line is the general damage. Yes, as an infiltrator striker, I mainly focus on enemy defender spawn time. So I tried to craft artifacts with 2 lines of enemy defender spawn time, and the second stat I'm really focusing on is the all enemy defensive towers damage. Yes, as you can see, 2 lines of each, and on top a general damage. Here I only have 2 EDST and 1 line all enemy defensive tower damage, hit points, and so on and so on. Yes. So this results into this beast of a museum, which I'm really happy with currently. All enemy defensive towers, as you can see, minus 82%. Really important information for you guys. This stat is kept. This means at minus 85%, it won't go above for these 2 stats for the all enemy defensive towers damage, all enemy defensive tower lines. Yeah, so going above 85% is a waste of stats. Yes, so as you can see, I tried to get as close as possible with this stat and focus on my enemy defender spawn time, which is 123. I always suggest go between 100 and 130 to get the most out of it. And my all enemy defensive tower hit points is at 50% right now. Why did I choose not to go for the cap for this stat? Because my gorillas, as you can also see, have 63% of damage boost, so they blow most of the buildings anyway with 1 blow. Yeah. As a paratrooper heavy tank attacker, I would focus on getting both all enemy defensive tower caps, a good EDST, and of course some gen lines into it. Yes. Most of you guys will ask yourself now, but how does he get a higher all enemy defensive tower hit point stat when he goes with paras? This is simple. You have 4 lines, 4 slots for equipments ready, and you have the Hermitage slot from the Wonder. Yes, in the info age. This museum adds an extra slot, so you can use whatever you want in this slot. Yes. So as an infiltrator, I have an additional armor artifact in there, which provides me another 2 lines of fighter and gorilla hit points. So as para and HT striker, I would swap in a 5th equipment instead. Yes, some guys run 4 legendaries. It's just a matter of taste. Just try it out and use what works best for you. Yes. So you can spend a huge amount of time in the museum crafting. Yes. And yeah, it's really important, and as I said, focus on armor, weapon and equipment before spending too much money on legendaries you won't ever use. It's just a waste of money. Yes. And choose your artifacts, your legendaries really wisely. Only acquire them if there are really important lines in it for your style of attacks. Yes. So looking at our current war, just to give you a feeling, that's what I said before. Another guy tried to attack me. I had also 1 defense coalition on, and they needed another try to get me down. So this is just what I'm trying to say. Be as painful to your enemy, even as a striker, as possible. Yes. Coalitions. Maybe this topic is also important. It has changed a lot with the helicopter boost, because before before the helicopter boost, it was mandatory to have the Americans active, which I'm using nearly always. It boosts your airplane health and your factory troop attack damage, and the Ethiopians general attack damage and factory troop health. So these 2 are mandatory for me, and as an infiltrator striker, just to be a pain for the opponents, running the Egyptians. Yes, as a defense coalition. What is also useful, as talking about offense coalitions, if you want to go as an attack helicopter striker, of course use Aztecs, which as you can see are boosted. These coalition also boosts your paratroopers. That's why I have them maxed, and the Cherokees are also useful as an attack helicopter striker, as they boost the barrack troops' health. Yes, so your helicopters last longer. The math on this is pretty easy. You have your basic troop, add the stats from the museum and add the stats from the coalition, and that's what your troops are worth. Yes. So what else can I tell you? We talked about generals. They're really important, offense and defense wise, of course. We have talked about the troops. Of course, always try to use maxed troops in your attacks. I run, for instance, my maxed infiltrators and maxed bazookas for my attacks. I run maxed mercenaries and maxed airplanes. Yes, and guys, really, as soon as recon plane is available, use it. It's such a boost in time for every attack style. If you're a bomber guy, use it. If you are only fighter attacker, use it. If you're a power striker, use it. If you're an attack helicopter striker, use it. Yes, it's just the best plane to boost up your attacks. Yeah? So try to make sure to do all your research on it. If it's possible, I think it's at the library where you can research that the first flight, the recon plane is invisible, and so it won't get destroyed by SAMs or GZIs with the first flight. Maybe some guys of you are wondering, why do I have 10 airstrip troop space? It's simply because I've added an additional Nighthawk hangar. I got this building a few events ago for free, and I read on the forums that this boosts the airstrip troop space now by 2, so I decided to use it and try it out for different wars. We have faced 2 wars ago, we have faced Panda, and now we have, as you have seen, La Horda, which are badass teams, and we're just trying to get the most out of it. In my personal experience, or my personal approach nowadays is to spend as less money as possible. That's why I'm using my infiltrators, and so I won't buy the Nighthawk hangar the next time it is available, because I don't need it. Yes, it adds about 10 seconds of speed in my experience right now to have 2 additional fighters. Yes, and the rest of it is just training. Be a pain for your alliance friends. Ask for friendly challenges. Try to practice it. Nowadays it's pretty easy to also practice your attack style in multiplayer with the instant retrain blessing. I know multiplayer is different to World War, but for certain attack strategies it is really important to get the finger muscles remembering the movements, and so you can get comfortably with your attack style. This is just my approach. So this is just all in all a simple guide for what to focus on as a striker, and what's really important. As I said earlier, defenders, don't be sad. I will do another episode for the same topic for all your defenders. I hope you guys enjoyed this first instructional video. If you guys like it, please leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think about it. I know my English is not the best, but I always try to do my best and have fun with the game. And I love it to interact with you guys, even if it's on YouTube, Discord, or whatever platform. Just let me know. So guys, At my place, the sun is shining. I have to do a little bit of work now, and then I'm taking my dogs out and try to make the best out of my day. As I said earlier, please leave a comment below on if you have any idea for future topics, and I hope you liked it. I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best. Stay healthy in these crazy times, and I hope we will see each other soon. Bye bye, guys.